o kuro-kuro ng mga bisita at panauhin o mga anchors o host sa programang ito ay sarili at tanging opinyon at pananaw ng mga nabanggit at hindi opinyon o pananaw ng Aliw Broadcasting Corporation, mga producers o mga namamahala ng Aliw Broadcasting o anumang organisasyon na affiliated sa network at kailanman ay hindi iniendorso ng Aliw Broadcasting Corporation ang mga nabanggit na opinyon at pananaw sa programa.
Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng PAGCOR. Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Petron. Petron knows you deserve only the best.
Moving forward kami sa Sulong na Bayan. Ang inyong paboritong public service program ay susulong na naman. Maririnig kami sa bagong time slot na alas 5 hanggang alas 6 ng gabi. Lunes hanggang Biyernes. Sa prime time slot na ito, higit na maraming listeners at viewers ang aabuti ng aming iba't ibang segments tulad ng Gospel Verse a Day, balita sa special sectors tulad ng OFW, senior citizens, Chinoy community at iba pang makabuluhang sektor. Makakasama ang veteran journalist na si Loli Acosta. Mabuhay! Sulong na Bayan!
Upang sugpuin ang lumalalang kaso ng illegal na online gaming sa bansa at protektahan ang mga manlalaro laban dito, nilunsad ng Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation o PAGCOR ang quote-unquote PAGCOR Guarantee website. Maaring i-check ng publiko sa nasabing website kung lisensyado at lehitimo ang isang online gaming site bago sila maglaro o magbayad. Regular na i-update ang website at may direktang link ito sa mga lisensyadong gaming platforms. Ayon kay PAGCOR Chairman and CEO Alejandro Tenco, matutulungan nito ang publiko na makaiwas sa paglilinlang habang pinoprotektahan ang kanilang karapatan bilang manlalaro. Paalala pa ni Chairman Tenco na maging mapanuri sa bawat online gaming activity na sasalihan sapagkat dumarami ang mga reklamo hinggil sa illegal na gaming sites na hindi nagbabayad ng panalo. Para sa karagdagang impormasyon, bisitahin ang www.pagcor.ph/PAGCOR Guarantee.
Alright, good afternoon and welcome to our segment and Voice and Entrepreneurs kung saan ang mga negosyo po, very successful entrepreneurs ay ini-interview natin and they're going to share with us successful tips paano po tayo matutulungan sa ating mga negosyo. This afternoon po ay kagagaling ko lamang sa Philippine Business Conference sa SM MOA dahil nagkaroon po doon ng 2-day business conference ang Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry kung saan tayo po ay member ng PCCI Makati in particular. So, sa mga entrepreneurs po na nakikinig sa atin, mag-join po kayo ng mga exhibits na ganyan and mga expos and conferences so you can learn a lot about business. At ang topic po natin na pag-uusapan ngayon ay something special. Hindi po ito na pag-uusapan o madalas na napag-uusapan pero napaka-importante at ito po ay something to do with what we call business etiquette. So hindi lamang po ito tungkol sa paano po ba humawak ng sabihin na nating kubyertos, no, yung mga fork, how to behave during dinner, no, but in the business world etiquette, it is all about how you show up, how you communicate, how you follow up, you handle meetings, emails, and even handshakes. Very important po yan. And actually, madalas po tayo nag-Zoom meeting. Importante rin po yung mga etiquette natin pagdating sa Zoom meeting. So, we are very fortunate to have with us live in the studio, Miss Agnes Brazel, a distinguished U.S. certified etiquette consultant and proud graduate of the American School of Protocol in Atlanta, Georgia. She holds a Bachelor of Arts in English from Mindanao State University Iligan Institute of Technology and has completed courses in speech communication at UP Diliman. A former professor at the MSU IIT Department of English. Nako, mapapa-English po tayo dito. Ms. Brazel has also undergone professional training with Dale Carnegie's High Impact Presentations and John Robert Powers Personality Development Programs. Alam niyo, pangarap ko po ito makapag-aral sa John Robert Powers. With dual residency in the Philippines and the United States, She brings a rich blend of cross-cultural experience and expertise in communication, etiquette, and personal development. So, para sa mga nakikinig at nanonood po ng Sulong na Bayan, let's all welcome Miss Agnes Brazel. Hello, Agnes!
Thank you, Cecily, for having
Yes,
me.
so the beautiful Agnes Brazel, yan. Kasama ko po yan sa Rotary, fellow Rotarian, and also a member of Philippine Chamber of Commerce Makati.
Yes,
So, welcome, gorgeous Agnes.
Thank
How are you,
Thank
dear?
you for having me. I'm good, and thank you for asking. And
Yes. Tingnan nyo naman, ang posture talaga, ang voice. So, could you tell us a bit about your background and how you became an etiquette consultant?
Okay, it's actually by accident. To flashback 2018, I was in the US, and I was actually building my residency for my application for a US citizenship. So I had to stay longer. So I had to do something. And parang ayoko na ng, Taglish lang tayo, Ruby.
Yeah.
So ayoko na ng, 9 to 5. So I researched, I Googled, and then what shall I do? And I used to teach, right? I used to teach in Mindanao State University. So the teacher in me, I just want to do some coaching job. For example, I was thinking of like image consulting, and then I ran into etiquette consulting. So I didn't even know it's an industry. So, and then it really fascinated me, and then it's so interesting because we always think of etiquette as like stuffy, full of rules, something like that. And some people try to, laugh at it like you're trying to sound and then look like upper class. But actually, I discovered in reality, actually good manners or etiquette is more on making people feel that they matter. So it's
Yes.
about respect and consideration for others. So then I discovered the American School of Protocol in Atlanta, Georgia. So I flew.
There's an American School of Protocol.
Yes,
Wow.
there's a lot in the
Dito sa
US.
atin, meron din ba? Sa Philippines?
You're John Robert Powers, but we're not so much into that. A lot in the States, so I just have to choose expensive. But then I was thinking you have to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
So I flew, and that's where I got my first certification, the etiquette school, certified etiquette for children and teens. And then so on and so forth. I got training for business etiquette and social. So then, to make a long story short, and that's it. That's how I became I like it because I have control of my time, and
Yes.
then, yeah.
Wow, so you are really expert in the field of etiquette, no? Particularly, is there a special field on the business etiquette, or this is etiquette in general?
Actually, etiquette covers a lot of things. So I concentrate on the social etiquette and the business and the dining etiquette. So after that, I already conducted like a hands-on dining etiquette class with a mixture of social etiquette, for teens and for children, build character. And then, of
and
course,
confidence
business.
also.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
Yeah, especially for us, no, na nagnenegosyo, very important alam natin yung what do you call it, dining etiquette, no? Because
Yes.
we do a lot of socialization, we do a lot of meetings, especially for foreign countries. So we
Exactly.
know how to behave properly in the dining area, di ba? Sometimes you don't know which cubiertos you're going to pick up first, di ba?
yeah, because wala sa atin yun eh. We
Yes.
use spoon and fork. But in weddings, in gala, fancy dining, you're invited and you get overwhelmed with
There's so many.
the settings. How do you do it?
Yeah,
Which fork to use, and where do you start? So during my classes, I always give tricks, because you were one of my classes.
Yes, we're graduate of her class.
And also
yes.
justice. And so my trick lang dyan, that's I always tell my classes, the B and the D.
The B,
And the
letter
D.
B and D.
Yes, so
okay.
B, bread is to your left, and the D is to your right.
Tandaan po natin na ang bread nasa kaliwa.
Ang bread nasa kaliwa.
Kaliwa,
Ah.
okay.
And
ang
then
drinks
the
ay
drink,
nasa kanan.
Yeah,
Kasi
or-
baka makuha nyo yung bread ng katabi nyo.
Yes. If you attend weddings, like a very crowded round table, and then dikit-dikit kayo,
Yes, dikit-dikit.
you don't even know which bread is yours. And
Yes,
which
exactly.
bread is yours, right?
Ang dadamputin mo
And
nasa
then you end
kanan,
up
nasa-
stealing.
Yes,
Stealing.
yes.
So, anyway, if somebody steals your bread, just
Pretend.
calm down. Yeah, because, etiquette is not about perfection. It's about how you behave for imperfect situations.
Yeah,
So,
wow.
yun.
Very nice, very nice. So, having lived both in Philippines and United States, how has this cross-cultural experience influenced your views on communication and professionalism? So, dalawang culture ito di ba?
Yeah.
America and US.
Actually, challenging. Actually, kasi Pilipinas, westernized na tayo rin eh. But then we have a distinct culture din na ibang-iba sa Amerika. Like, as I've said, we are a very casual society, very personal. Like, even if we don't really know the person, if you meet a person, like I remember my late husband would tell me, if I sit in the bar, the waiter would ask me my whole life story in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah.
In the States, hindi sila ganun eh. And
Yes,
then, so
exactly.
ibang-iba. And then, we are very conscious here of titles. There, even if it's your boss, like you
Yeah,
are my
they
CEO,
call themselves
can
first name.
be.
Yeah, first name, yeah.
They don't want to be so different things. That's why if you do business in other countries, or regardless, if you do business here with a foreigner, so it's always better to do your research.
Yeah.
So you know the culture. Because etiquette is very cultural.
Pero
eh.
anong significant difference ang napansin mo between you talking about business, no? Business manners sa America versus sa Philippines?
They're so straightforward.
Straightforward.
Yeah,
okay.
and then for us, we tend to sugarcoat sometimes. But actually, generally, it's the same. We're just more casual. We're more personal. And then it's the same thing. Like you do handshake, because in the Far East cities like Japan, they do the bow.
The bow,
So here,
yeah.
because of the Western influence, we tend to still adopt the same as in America. So it's more or less it's like that. It's just like different lang yung culture talaga na nakikita natin. So we just have to adjust. Sometimes it can be challenging. Yun din ang challenge ko dito eh. When I apply etiquette here, kasi parang hindi pa talaga tayo mag-adapt sa gano'n na we don't even think we need it. But then I always tell them, it's always better to know it and not need it than need it and not know it, right?
So by the time you are in the situation, you know what to do already.
Exactly. So when you have a business meeting, for example, if you already are confident to navigate the table settings, you can concentrate more on the business dealings rather than think of what I'm gonna use. So
Yeah.
distraction yun eh. So whereas if you already know how to, work your way from outside to inside. That's how you do it eh. Kasi ang daming kutsilyo, ang daming knife, ang daming So all you have to do is just work your way from the outside
So
to the inside.
So if there's a table setting, you work from the outside. That's
To
the
the
first thing
inside.
that you're gonna pick.
Yes.
Papunta dun
Pa
sa
sa
main
loob.
plato, di ba? Okay,
Yes.
so
Oo, yun
very
ang
nice to know.
Kaya when you look at the table setting, pag may spoon dyan, di ba unang-una yung spoon.
Yes.
So, uunahin mo yung spoon. In other words, just by
Yes.
looking at the table setting, you would know anong isi-serve eh.
Yes.
So, pag may spoon, immediately may soup
May
yan.
soup. Okay.
Yeah. So, soup, and then after the soup, kukunin niya ng waiter eh.
Yes. Okay.
So, and then, the silent codes.
Okay. So you need to be observant also. Observant
To be-
of what is in your
yes.
table. By the way, speaking of handshake, so when you meet somebody, tapos nag-handshake kayo, so sabi nila, dapat daw mas maganda kung may DN, and then you shake straight, right?
It's web to web.
Web
so there's
to-
a proper way of
Okay.
handshake, of shaking hands. It's kasi na-notice mo, yung clammy yung iba, yung parang fish. They call it the fish, you have to really be firm, but not
Firm,
bone
okay.
breaker. So parang tamang-tama lang because
Yeah.
it actually signals your confidence eh. So, this is what we call the web. So
Okay,
it's web
ito.
to web.
All right.
And then, eye contact is very important.
Web to web. Okay. Oo.
So
Yeah.
when you the first time
Yes.
you introduce, so there's a lot of things to
Yes.
learn, like how you introduce somebody
Yes.
in business setting.
Very interesting, ha? Pero Agnes, bago tayo pumunta dyan, tatanggap po muna tayo ng flash report. Very important.
DWIZ Flash Report.
Pumanaw na ang radio announcer na si Noel Samar sa Bicol Regional Training and Teaching Hospital kaninang alas 2 ng hapon. Nabatid na pinagbabaril si Samar sa Barangay Moreno sa Ginobatan, Albay kahapon.
Alright, so nagbabalik po muli ang Sulong na Bayan and Voice and Entrepreneurs. Napakaganda po ng topic natin about business etiquette. At pinag-uusapan po natin ngayon ay yung manner of handshake. So dapat daw web to web, ito ba yun? Tama?
Yeah,
web to web, tapos may konting diin, pero wag nyo naman
lang.
pong masyadong idiin na masakit na masasaktan na yung ano nyo, ka-handshake.
Hindi yung lump. Ito, sometimes parang ayaw mo makipag-shake.
Yes, yung very soft naman, di ba? Para namang wala kang naramdaman.
Yes.
Yeah. So it also shows your sincerity, no?
Sincerity,
doon
your
sa
confidence.
iyong kausap, especially if you're doing business, no? It means a
Exactly.
lot to them, no? Yeah, so maganda po yan. Dami na nating natututunan ngayon, no? So how would you define business etiquette in today's fast-changing world? Kasi ngayon, di ba, especially after the pandemic or during the pandemic, the business setup ay nagbago. So ngayon, medyo sanay na tayo hybrid.
Yeah.
Meron na tayong Zoom, we can do online business meetings, no? And then we can also do anong tawag dito, face to face. Sometimes nga
Yes.
sanay tayo pag nagzo-Zoom meeting tayo, maganda yung itaas, yung ibaba nakapajama eh. 'Di ba? Tapos
Yeah.
minsan pag pupunta ka ngayon sa meeting, minsan nakikita mo mukhang nakapajama na rin yung ka-meeting mo, nasanay na.
Oo nga eh. So,
Yeah. So, what is the, how would you describe the business etiquette pagdating ngayon sa, ngayong
in today's
medyo,
fast,
yes.
etiquette is always evolving, right? So, it's cultural. Kasi maraming nangyayari sa mundo. For example, pandemic really changed a lot about how we live. So, kaya may hybrid na tayo and then virtual. So, I always tell my clients that you treat virtual meetings as a face-to-face meeting. Na,
So, parang face-to-face din kaharap mo.
You still have to dress up, you still have to put on a little makeup. Kasi yung iba nakapajama, pero dito, what if bigla kang tatayo?
Oo.
Diba? Ganon. So,
At saka may kumakahol minsan, may meeting ka, may kumakahol sa tao.
that's why may mga do's and don'ts dyan, which we can discuss later sa
Okay.
Zoom meeting. Those are
Okay.
things that you have to observe para walang distraction. Kasi it's, you'll have business meetings and these are the people you don't even know. And then you're gonna deal with. So, maraming red flags. So,
Yeah.
as much as possible, you don't create red flags with your clients. Or
So another tip is if you have a Zoom or online meeting, treat it as if you're doing face-to-face meeting. So you have to dress up, you have to put on makeup, especially for ladies, no?
Yes.
Sa mga lalaki dapat well done din ang face nila, and make sure you are in a room na quiet, no
Yes.
noise as much as possible, and close.
yeah, I actually have a YouTube channel actually, but
You
not really
do?
that.
Okay.
Yeah, so just my name. And I have do's and don'ts for virtual meetings or Zoom meetings. That was I created that during the pandemic. So, what are the things that you have to observe? You have to stay muted all the time,
Muted.
unless
okay.
you are asked to speak, because you don't want people hearing like that. You might have a loud siren passing by, for example, or a baby crying, or worse, flushing on the toilet, something like that. So there are some unpleasant noises around. So you go to a quiet place, you have just to tell your family they don't disturb you. Or so those are the things that you may very well observe to have a successful meeting.
Yeah, very good. So, how would you define the difference between good manners and professional etiquette?
Okay, so manners is actually our behavioral expressions of courtesy, respect, politeness. So, parang it's a universal thing, manners. Kahit saan ka magpunta, manners is there, like, thank you, please. Whereas etiquette is a set of rules that guided you for a particular situation. For example, if it's business etiquette, so anong dress code ng office? So that's the etiquette. So how do I deal with my coworkers? Okay, so don't invade on their space, something like that. And then, how do I introduce my office mates? There's always a trick for that. Like, you always introduce through hierarchy. Like CEO, ang introduce mo kasi you mention the name of the most important person. Okay, retired Justice Victorino. This is our new staff, Ruby.
Okay.
So that's how.
So if you're three, tatlo kayo, you introduced first the highest, the one who's the highest position. Okay.
The CEO to the newly applicant. But then, in any situation, if you have a client and the president of the company, the client is your most important person.
Okay.
So you introduce the client first to anybody in the office, regardless if he's a CEO, he's the founder, because that's the way it is, because your lifeline is the client, right?
So you
that's
give
how-
importance to your client, visitor.
So first impressions is also very important, like in the office. Do you know that it takes somebody to build a first impression of you in the first 7 seconds?
7 seconds ang ruling.
7 seconds.
Okay.
So that's why they say you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. So that's why dressing up is very important. You know, you can't just show up sloppy and then didn't comb your hair. Kasi magbi-build na siya ng ano sa'yo ng impression eh. And then, of course, it goes with the handshake. We can go back to the handshake and then the eye contact. Kasi alam mo, ang tao pag hindi confident, nag-a-avoid
Yung mata, no?
Yes.
Magulo yung mata.
Makikita mo
Walang
eh.
focus. So, dapat you have an eye-to-eye contact with the person you're talking
Yes.
to. Okay.
And again, I say this is also very cultural. Because if you go to other countries, for example, some other countries, they're so uneasy with
eye-to-eye.
looking you, eye to
Okay.
eye. So that's why I always advise, if you do business with other foreigners or other countries, you do your research.
You research first.
You research
But in
first.
particular, anong country yung medyo hindi sila nag-eye-to-eye contact?
I think Japan is so
Japan?
uneasy, yeah.
Okay.
They bow.
They bow.
And then they bow, they don't shake
Do the
hands. So,
handshake?
yeah.
Okay.
They don't do the handshake. Unless for some really like exposed. They do the Far East Asian countries. They do the bow, and then you can just adjust to that. It's sometimes kind of challenging.
So if you're talking to a Japanese at nagbow siya, do you also do the bow? Nagbabow ka rin? Okay, so that's a sign
So
of...
it's just like making people really comfortable also around you.
Alright,
Yeah.
so you do the bow. Okay. Alright, that's very interesting. So talking about yung most common etiquette mistakes in professionals or entrepreneurs make. Ano over the
Very.
years of you're doing this
Yeah.
etiquette
A lot,
trainings?
Tardiness is one of the most,
Tardiness.
punctuality.
Kamantik na ako malate po kanina.
Okay, you were on time.
Yeah, I made it on time.
Kasi I want to eradicate kasi Filipino time eh. And then kasi sa Manila, we always have excuse kasi traffic eh. Traffic. So,
yes.
but it's not actually an excuse. Like I had a UP professor before, our class starts at 8 o'clock. At 8:03, he would close the door. And then one of our classmates would say, taga Cavite po ako, sir, and then leave at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's not actually an excuse. Unless you are really caught in the traffic na may accident.
Emergency.
Emergency.
sort of,
And the
yes.
best way is to call your friend who's waiting for you, or your client na, I'm running late.
Yeah.
So, please bear with me. And don't say sorry. Hindi na rin ngayon anong sorry. Try to say thank you for understanding.
Oh,
Kasi
so
parang ang
don't say
sorry can be a negative
Okay.
Although tayo automatic tayo sorry nagpapadali ka. So thank you for understanding. So it's always better to tell the other person, so at least then he would understand na late ka.
So it's not good anymore that when you're late, you always reason na traffic eh.
No.
Because everybody knows it's traffic
Yes,
already, no? So you just
yes.
simply say, thank you for understanding. I'm late.
I just
Yeah.
got caught in the traffic, or there was
Caught
an
in the-
accident,
yes.
parang
So
mga
unexpected, yes.
unforeseen circumstances.
Unforeseen, yes.
So,
But make sure you leave naman the house early,
Oo,
ha?
oo,
Alam naman natin traffic sa Pilipinas, eh. So, alis na po kayo ng 1 hour or 1.5. Better, no?
I start
Mas
booking for
maaga.
Grab. I only live in Makati. I start booking at 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock?
Because I
Wow.
had to make a good allowance kasi
Yeah.
hindi ko pa, it's my first time here. So
Uh-uh.
I'm always very particular with, ever since before, you know, I have a friend that, we meet up. Even if I know that she's a perennial latecomer, I still come on time.
Yeah, because it's you, eh.
Yes,
Diba?
that's
It's
me.
you. That's your
So,
character. That's your,
oo.
so...
That's why I don't want people waiting for me, because so I don't want to do it to them also.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
And I think one of the professional way to do it is to notify, as you mentioned, notify
Yes.
yung ka-meeting nyo po in advance that you're gonna be late. And ngayon, very exact na because you have Waze or you have the Google Map,
Yes.
so it will determine exactly what is
Calculate.
your arrival time, estimated time of arrival. But of course, you tell them, my estimated time of arrival is this and this. So they
Yes.
know how much time they're going to wait for you, right? So it's very professional to notify them ahead.
Yes,
So
yes.
is there a rule that you have to notify them at least 30 minutes before?
More or less, you know
Or-
already, di ba? Like you have
Yeah.
ETA already.
Yes,
so,
you have your ETA.
And then, so for example, if you're invited to a dinner party at home, like a sit-down dinner party, na 10 of you, and then you're running late, so you have to call the host. You say, please go ahead. So I'm running late. I would be like arriving nasa GPS ko is 20 minutes after 7 o'clock, and then yung dinner invitation mo is 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So please go ahead. Don't wait for me. Kasi, the tendency is they wait for you kasi it's a sit-down dinner.
Yes.
So
oo.
it's just courtesy to the host, and then so they would understand na kahit darating ka. Kasi that's what they call how do you arrive at the invitation? Anong arrival time on a business setting or a social setting? So wala na kasi ngayon sinasabing fashionably late. So within the next 15 minutes, it's better to be late, like 10 minutes, 15, but never come early.
Never
Especially
come
in the
early.
house. Yeah.
Okay.
7 o'clock, because you still have the host preparing last minute, and then here you are arriving at 6:30.
Yeah.
So she has to entertain you.
They're still busy going around, right? Yeah. So when it comes to an invitation in the house, personal invitation, so dapat ang maganda is you arrive on time
On
or at
time,
least 15 minutes late. But when it comes to an office meeting, paano yon? If you're going to an office ng say ka business meeting mo,
As much as possible on time.
on time
Yeah,
yon.
and
Okay.
then,
So magkaiba siya.
or before. Kasi wala namang hinahanda like business meeting. So,
Yes.
if possible, 10
Oo.
minutes before. Kasi it's a
Yes.
different scenario pag nasa bahay and the host is like preparing.
Yes. So, how does etiquette contribute to trust building and leadership credibility in business? But before you answer that, let's pause for some break. Time check and break is Philippine Standard Time is 5:25 in the afternoon.
Oras hatid sa inyo ng PAGCOR.
Oras hatid sa inyo ng PCSO. Hindi umuurong sa pagtulong.
Si Miss Loli Acosta, Sulong na Bayan sa DWIZ 882. Panatilihing masaya ang paglilibang. Magtakda ng oras at limitahan ang gastos sa paglalaro. Huwag magsugal kung nalulungkot. Huwag hayaang makasira ng buhay at pamilya. Para sa impormasyon ukol sa responsible gaming, bisitahin ang www.pagcor.ph. Isang mensahe mula sa PAGCOR. Gambling is for 21 years old and above only. Gambling can be addictive. Know when to stop.
Maglaro sa Bingo Plus app para tuloy-tuloy ang premyo at saya. At malay mo mapanalunan mo pa ang jackpot prize sa first online live stream bingo sa Pinas. Bingo Plus, bingo sa saya, plus sa panalo. Gambling is for 21 years old and above only. Gambling can be addictive. Learn when to stop.
International Series Philippine and Bingo Plus. Bingo sa saya plus sa panalo. Tickets available now at SM Tickets.
Urong sa pagtulong, kawang gawa sa lahat sinusulong. PCSO, PCSO, di urong sa pagtulong ang PCSO, PCSO.
Papalakas ng papalakas, palinaw ng palinaw, mga balita at impormasyong naiintindihan dahil malinaw mong nalaman. Tutok lang sa DWIZ mula umaga hanggang gabi. Updated on air and online. DWIZ, nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama.
Ang balitang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Petron. Petron knows you deserve only the best.
Ang balitang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng PCSO. Hindi umuurong sa pagtulong.
Latest, pinakabago at tama. DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
Pilipinas, narito na ang tamang balita sa oras na ito. Mayorya ng mga Pilipino ang nais na patutukan kay Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. ang pagpapababa sa presyo ng bigas at iba pang mga pangunahing bilihin tulad ng karne, isda at gulay. Sa pinakahuling survey ng Social Weather Stations, 56% ng mga respondents ang gustong bumaba ang presyo ng mga pangunahing bilihin. 31% naman ang nagnanasang tutukan ng administrasyon ng pagsugpo sa korupsyon sa bansa.
DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
At yan ang tamang balita sa oras na ito. Mag-follow at subscribe sa lahat ng DWIZ News Digital channels. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, X, DWIZ News App at DWIZ News website. Ako po si John Reese Galata, nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama.
Oras-oras nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama. DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
Ang balitang ito ay inihatid sa inyo ng Petron. Petron knows you deserve only the best.
Ang balitang ito ay inihatid sa inyo ng PCSO. Hindi umuurong sa pagtulong.
Si Miss Loli Acosta, Sulong na Bayan sa DWIZ 882.
Upang sugpuin ang lumalalang kaso ng iligal na online gaming sa bansa at protektahan ang mga manlalaro laban dito, nilunsad ng Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation o PAGCOR ang quote-unquote PAGCOR Guarantee website. Maaring i-check ng publiko sa nasabing website kung lisensyado at lehitimo ang isang online gaming site bago sila maglaro o magbayad. Regular na i-update ang website at may direktang link ito sa mga lisensyadong gaming platforms. Ayon kay PAGCOR Chairman and CEO Alejandro Tenco, matutulungan nito ang publiko na makaiwas sa paglilinlang habang pinoprotektahan ang kanilang karapatan bilang manlalaro. Paalala pa ni Chairman Tenco na maging mapanuri sa bawat online gaming activity na sasalihan sapagkat dumarami ang mga reklamo hinggil sa illegal na gaming sites na hindi nagbabayad ng panalo. Para sa karagdagang impormasyon, bisitahin ang www.pagcor.ph/PAGCOR Guarantee.
Alright, good afternoon. Nagbabalik pong muli ang Sulong na Bayan, Envoys and Entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Ruby Banyares Victorino, at we are blessed to have with us a US certified etiquette consultant, at yun po ay si Miss Agnes Brazel. So kanina po we have a hanging question. How does etiquette contribute to trust building and leadership credibility in business? So malaman po natin kay Miss Agnes.
Very, very important.
Important,
talaga
yes.
ang trust, because when you establish relationship with a client, you establish credibility. Like, for example, real estate. If you're a real estate broker, how can you convince a client to buy a 100 million unit condo if he doesn't trust you? So you establish it like credibility, word of honor. So what you say to your client, you should provide. So hindi yung, you're just making up like, we have all the amenities here, something like that. So everything is based on trust. So you build credibility between your clients.
Yeah, so especially sa mga nagre-real estate po or the broker, no? So it's a relationship. So dapat ma-establish mo muna yung credibility
Yeah,
mo.
salespeople,
Okay.
this is really very important for salespeople, because sometimes you don't even know who your salesperson is, right? And then it's just based on trust talaga. And I remember when I bought my condo like years ago, nag-walk-in lang ako, and then here's a guy, a real estate broker, who eventually became a very close friend. Batang-bata pa, 20 years old, talagang nanginginig pa, na he cannot even look at you straight in the eye. And then, but I like he's very truthful, very
Sincere.
very
Nararamdaman
sincere,
mo,
that's
okay.
it. And then,
Yeah.
so, wala pa akong plano, I just have to buy. And then, After service is very important for sales
After
people.
sales,
Yeah,
okay.
yung hindi ka pababayaan. Like after niya na-close ang deal, wala na. That's the mistake of some of the salespeople. Kasi it will recurring clients pag talagang inalagaan mo. So eventually, and then he became one of my mentees in my dining etiquette.
Okay.
And at age 30 now, he leads a department in one of the leading real estate here.
Promoted.
Oh, very
Yeah.
successful, earning
Wow,
7
yes.
digits. So I'm so
Wow.
proud of him. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, very, very important. At important din po na what you see is what you get.
Exactly.
Kasi diba, minsan they tend to exaggerate it, especially in social media.
Yes.
Posting this unit for sale.
Yes.
Tapos pagdating mo doon, iba pala yung nakita mo,
They
diba?
try to bluff you just
Yes,
to make the sales, you know.
Ako madalas sis, pag bumibili ko online, laging you're expecting something and then pag dumating sa'yo, ganyan kalaki in-expect mo, pag dumating sa'yo, ganyan kaliit.
I heard a lot of
Diba?
stories like that.
Oo, yeah. Parang walang
Nakakainis, diba?
There's no truth in advertising.
Exactly,
diba?
talaga.
Yeah.
Walang
So,
control.
you said that trust building and leadership is very important. So, pagdating naman sa, say, ito kasi madalas po tayong mga entrepreneurs, di ba? We get invited to social functions. So, can you share example of good etiquette na sabihin natin it can help close a deal or bad manners that can cause an opportunity? So, in the table setting, meron ka din.
Yeah, so we'll have dining etiquette as an example, okay? So I always tell my students, have you heard of the $1 million meal? So the $1 million meal is not exactly the cost of the meal, but the cost of the transaction that you lose.
That you can lose.
That you can lose because of bad manners. And so what are the bad manners on the table? For example, what annoys you? Noise, for example?
Okay.
Something like
At
that.
pag kumakain ka, may tunog.
May tunog, di ba? And then, what else? Gadget on the table, like always on the phone. But you are with somebody.
Yeah.
So, gadget, it should be people first, gadget second.
Okay.
Because if you're always on your phone and you're with somebody, it would make the person feel less important. Diba? Unless sabihin mo, I'm really expecting a call. So, pag may tutunog, then
So, you
pag may
excuse yourself.
emergency.
Okay.
Kasi if you're talking with somebody in the dining table, nakaligpit talaga yan. Walang sound whatsoever. So those are the-
Nakamute.
Nakamute. So those are the things that actually one should observe na kasi take for granted mo pag nasa phone ka palagi and then you're actually doing a transaction and then what for? And then for example, in fact, interview now in the dining table is used when you have a job applicant. The boss will bring the applicant to a dining experience and then observe how he acts because your behavior speaks a lot about you, of who you are.
Yeah. So
Speaks
Agnes, we have right now in the screen it's a table setting.
Okay,
So
yeah.
how can you explain?
So
that?
so for example, that's a table setting of a 4-course meal.
4 course.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as I've said, you work your way from the outside. So if you see that picture, then you would know that there's soup to be served.
Kasi there's spoon.
Yes,
outside.
and then
Okay.
pagkatapos mo ng soup, then they will take out the spoon. And then the next you have 2 knives and 2 forks.
Okay.
So one is the salad knife and salad fork. Okay? And then they take it away after that. And then you have the main entree or the main
entree,
course,
okay.
the entree or the main course.
Yung the one nearest the plate. Okay.
Yes, so and then on top of the plate you have the dessert, spoon and fork because you have a spoon if you have an ice cream that needs a spoon, or if you just have a cake you can just use the
fork.
So you
Okay.
have the bread plate to your left and your drink to your right.
Yeah.
You notice that the other picture, that picture has a charger.
Charger is the
where you put the
one
plate.
beneath the plate.
Ngayon lang
Okay.
yan nauso ngayon kasi noon wala yan. But then ngayon
Okay.
to make it fancy, look fancy, you have a charger. I have a friend who just attended a wedding. Sabi niya, naku, Day, it was really so embarrassing.
Ginamit
on
yung
my-
charger.
Kinuha niya yung charger, pumunta siya sa buffet.
At yun ang ginamit niyang plato.
Buti na lang nakita siya ng waiter. Sabi niya, "Ma'am, that's a charger." Ang plate andun sa buffet. Di ba
Oo.
normally? So
Huwag
I don't know what
dalhin.
she was thinking. I was just thinking about a lot of things. I think she knows it. Kasi kamukha daw ng plate. So things like that. Sometimes
Yeah. But it's
confuses
oversized,
you.
right?
Yes.
It will not confuse you kasi medyo malaki talaga siya, right? No. What if hindi kunin ng waiter yung spoon? Is it okay if you still use kasi tayo typical Filipino, we use spoon and fork. We're not used to using fork and knife, di ba? So is it still okay to eat in spoon and fork?
Well, it's not really like a violation or what. What's important is how you behave
Okay.
on the
So,
table.
okay lang yun?
Yes, if you're really comfortable, kung talaga mabusog ka ng spoon, so why not? That's why they say nga, good manners is not about never spilling on the tablecloth. It's about like how you react, or it's about good manners is about pretending not to notice. Something like that. So parang
okay.
it all boils down to making the person feel comfortable around you. Hindi ka judgmental, kumbaga.
Yung post na post ka di ba? Tapos biglang, napamura ka.
Oy, nahulog.
Wala ka na. Wala. Iba pa rin ang dating mo, di ba?
Nahulog yung plate. Pag nahulog yung kubyertos, you don't pick it up. Just tell the waiter to pick it up.
So you mind your language also.
Yes.
Okay. Bigyan mo naman kami ng mga language tips dyan. Pag may kaharap tayo, do you say, good afternoon, good evening immediately, or how are you doing?
Yes,
Is it
yes.
okay to ask a person na first time mo lang ma-meet na,
Oh, yes.
how are you doing?
Yes, very understandable. And then if you're introduced to somebody and you're already seated, it's always courteous to stand up.
Sorry, again?
It's always nakaupo ka na. Tapos
Okay.
somebody is
Being introduced to you.
and then nakatayo, you have to stand
You
up.
have to stand.
Yes,
okay.
you just don't say, and then, because that's just being courteous.
So you have to stand and
And
shake
then,
hands.
shake hands,
Yeah,
and then
okay.
the normal, greeting.
Tamad tayo minsan.
Kasi parang respect, sabi nila, the safest way is really, standing up is the safest way for respect for the person.
Yung asawa ko po magaling dyan, si Justice Victorino. Pag merong dumarating, lalo na pag babae, talagang yung silya ay
diba?
ibinibigay niya pa doon.
Wala sa atin Those are little things. Yung opening doors,
Yes.
na nauna ka, tapos may susunod sa'yo na maraming gamit.
Yeah, yes.
Why don't you just, leave
Open
the
the door
open
for
and
him or her.
for her,
Yeah.
Sometimes yung iba, they just, pangit to their face. Sometimes
Yes,
wala talaga.
yes.
They don't think So those are the little things
And
that,
also in the elevator, Miss Agnes, di ba? Alam na nilang you have a lot of things in your hands, tapos hindi pa nila hawakan
Yes.
yung elevator, no?
kaya nga may elevator etiquette din, di ba?
Yes.
Tapos hindi ka papasok kung hindi pa nakalabas lahat.
Guilty
yung
ako dyan kanina.
Kasi namamadali
Namamadali
ka.
ako. So, hindi pa nakalabas yung isa, pumasok na ako. Okay.
Sa mga emergency situations. But anyway, so yun, and then, kasi yung iba parang matakot maiwan or what. And, and then, ito, elevator etiquette naman to. So, these are the things that sometimes we don't observe or we just take for granted. Like, don't be too loud inside the elevator. Kung pwedeng
Okay.
wag kang. And then, speakerphone. Sometimes people have speakerphones with everybody's listening. So, and then everybody listens to your conversation with the other person.
Because you're in a speakerphone.
Yes,
Okay.
a speakerphone. And then, in fact, when you have speakerphone with somebody, you have to tell somebody before you turn on you're on speakerphone. To be fair to her.
Yes, yes.
Napaparinggan siya ng ibang tao.
Yeah.
Kasi minsan,
Kung
baka
ano-ano nang sinasabi niya.
nagmumura, di ba? Or may mga sikreto kayo.
Naririnig na ng lahat. You're in speaker. You give a warning. You're in speakerphone,
Yes,
ha?
warning.
Okay.
Exactly. So, para mas
Okay.
screened naman yung niya.
Yeah, that's nice. How about tips for us, no, na mga nagnenegosyo? Ano po ba ang magandang tips kapag tayo ay nagne-negotiate ng mga deals, especially for foreign clients or partners? So, kailangan ba aggressive tayo? Do we need to be pushy or anong masasabi?
As I've said, we go back to researching on their culture. So, ikaw mag-a-adjust. So, if you research this how they do it, then you just have to adjust to how they do business in their country. So, regardless if you're doing it in the Philippines or you're doing it in their country, because sometimes they also adjust if they're here. So depending on the situation. As long as you observe manners, it always boils down to having etiquette and manners and respect for consideration for others. So it's all good.
Okay. But generally speaking, lalo na yung mga salespeople sa 'di ba sa mall, talagang hahabulin ka nila and they will really give their flyers
Sometimes
para basahin mo. 'Di ba minsan annoying?
It's so annoying
So,
sometimes.
is that a good professional way to sell your products or your services?
Well, I think it works because they're still there.
Okay.
So,
that's
yeah, because
fine.
I think that's also how everybody starts. Like they call it flyering.
Okay.
Like the one that I mentioned to you about became a good friend of that real estate who's now very successful. He also passed through that stage.
Okay.
So sometimes you just have to be tolerant. Kasi yun ang stages kasi daw ng because that's how they meet clients, mga stranger approach.
Yeah.
So, ikaw, pasensya na lang sa no, and then just refuse.
But I guess with us
politely.
also, yes, exactly. The word is refuse politely.
Politely, yeah.
Kasi sabi niya, naku, ayoko niyan nga, di ba? So parang nakakabastos din naman sa kanila.
Yes, wala
Imagine they're
magagalit.
there for how many hours, no?
Oo. Nakakaawa din na
Yeah.
wala silang choice. They have to do it. Kasi nakakakuha din naman sila ng client
Ng
actually.
client,
So it
yes.
works. So if
Yeah,
it works, then
for
they
them.
still continue doing it.
Yeah, oo.
So parang
Pero
training
they
ground.
need to be sensitive din naman.
Yes.
Yeah, pag sinabi sa yung no, I don't like,
Yes, wag ka nang
wag mo nang kulutin, di ba?
Yes, aggressive to the point of being abrasive. Yun ang nakakaano na eh.
Yes. Tama,
it's
correct.
annoying.
Yeah, oo. Tama, correct. So, how about the digital etiquette? I know na-touch na natin ito kanina with
Very important.
Zoom, right?
Yeah.
But may i-add ka pa ba about digital etiquette and example, you're in social media. 'Di ba? As Filipinos, I don't know in other countries, no, we tend to anong tawag dito, unload yung sama ng loob natin, nilalagay natin sa social media.
I know.
Even if you're a professional and you're a business professional, sometimes for me it's very discouraging na makita mo yung taong professional and then talking about a bad experience in the internet.
It's a great turn off, ranting
Off, right?
on,
Yeah.
on social media, nagpa-rant ka.
Yes.
Kaya nga ngayon, yung applicants for office position like in the US, they go to your social media. So you
they
see how
check
they
your
are.
social
Yes,
media.
they see
Okay.
they check your social media and how you are. Because sometimes your social media speaks volume about yourself. Yung kaya nga sabi nila,
Yes.
dapat don't post relationships, don't post finances. Tapos, kasi hindi pa naman kayo mag-asawa, something like that.
Yeah.
And then, yung ranting talaga is a no-no and it's a red flag for somebody.
Yes.
Pero sabi kasi naman, nakaka-release kami, but why social media for
why
everyone
involve
to see?
everyone, right? So
Yes.
if you have 5,000 friends, you're involving
I know.
5,000 friends already. Yeah. So
And also another thing, Ruby, is I just like to emphasize, we have a lot of group chats.
group chats,
Vibers,
yes.
messengers. Alam mo, ang daming misunderstandings and miscommunications in group chats. And may mga kaso pa. You know why? We have to be very careful because group chats kasi, you don't see facial expressions.
Yes,
You don't see
yeah.
body language.
Oo.
You don't hear the tone of the voice. So it's how you perceive it. So when you read it, depends sa mood. At saka may negative ka na sa babaeng yun. So parang galit ka na.
Correct.
So, talagang you have to construct your sentence or your message in such a way na hindi siya offensive.
Alright. So
Tapos,
careful ka.
Yes, careful ka. Kaya sabi nila, pag mga all caps daw, para kang sumisigaw.
Exactly. And also, if you have a lot of exclamation
Exclamation
so you
point.
feel that parang galit yung kausap ko.
Yes, yes. O, mga ganon. So, it's
Yeah.
little things. Kaya, kasi ngayon, hybrid na talaga eh. After pandemic, the world's changed. So, we just have to, live with that.
So, it's better if you're using the emoticons. Diba?
Isa rin yun.
Because my husband loved to use that. Merong mga prayer sign,
Yes.
and then the smiley face. So, parang pagkausap mo, hindi ka mukhang galit.
Exactly. I always do
parang-
that. I always attach like an emoji,
Emoji,
after like
right?
smiling.
Yes,
Or if I always say see you, I always have that with sunglass because I always hope
Nice.
for a sunny day, you know.
So, it gives you an impression na
Yes.
yung kausap ko is not mad, but in a good mood livelihood as well.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
Very, very important. Yeah.
Yeah. That's nice. Okay. How about yung mga say meron kang conversation, there's a conversation kasi it's an open It's a group chat.
Yes.
So everybody is reading, engaged, putting in their opinions. Is it fine if you answer back or kaya back and forth parang kayo na lang dalawa yung nag-uusap?
I think it's better to message in private. And then especially, that's why I always say it's public kasi public marami. And if you criticize, please do it privately. Kasi may iba nagkikriticize, andyan na
Yes.
napapahiya yung tao. But if you praise, do it publicly.
Okay.
So always the...
So, if you criticize, per Miss Agnes, do it in private.
Private.
If you praise, then do it in public.
Yes,
Okay.
that's
I think it also applies with us, entrepreneurs, especially for our employees and staff. Yeah,
Even
it
sa
also-
email, for example, di ba?
Emails, okay.
Don't do reply all pag hindi concern ang lahat.
Oh, yeah.
Kasi it's very annoying. So yun ang ni-reply all tapos ikaw nakakatanggap ka. Sometimes it's so annoying. It doesn't concern you.
Yeah.
So directly to the person. And when you email, ang email hindi mo na yan na i-edit. At least ang Viber na i-edit mo pa. So you have to be
true.
very careful in sending emails and and then subject, then you have to put a subject, and then you notice emails, you have your name, but it's not actually enough when you have sincerely, you have to say, Ruby. It's not enough that you have, kasi may mga built-in na tayong you have your name and your designation.
Yes.
So, and in fact, in Europe now, they still, especially for first email, you still have to, it's treated like a letter, like Dear Ruby.
Okay.
But then if the conversation is already going on,
The
then you
second
don't, wala
emails,
na,
third emails, wala nang dear.
Wala na,
Straight-
na
straight
para na kayong
na.
conversing.
Okay. How about the best regards? It's
Yes.
always it always
Good.
comes to me natural.
Yes.
So every time I'm emailing a person, although first time ko siyang i-email, may best regards ako sa dulo. Is that
It's
fine?
very acceptable. Warm
Okay.
regards,
Yeah,
best
oo.
regards.
Best regards. Kahit
Yeah.
first time nyo palang
Yes.
nag-communicate.
It's an
Okay.
endearment.
Nice. Yeah. So what are the ito na yon, do's and don'ts for online meetings and virtual presentations naman ito, ha?
Okay.
Pero bago yan, napaka-exciting yan, ha? Magpo-post muna tayo for some time check and break.
Okay.
Philippine Standard Time is 5:50 in the afternoon.
That time check was brought to you by Bingo Plus, International Series Philippine, and Bingo Plus. Bingo sa saya, plus sa panalo. Tickets available now at SM Tickets.
Oras hatid sa inyo ng PAGCOR.
Oras hatid sa inyo ng PCSO. Hindi umuurong sa pagtulong.
Si Miss Loli Acosta, Sulong na Bayan sa DWIZ 882. Panatilihing masaya ang paglilibang. Magtakda ng oras at limitahan ang gastos sa paglalaro. Huwag magsugal kung nalulungkot. Huwag hayaang makasira ng buhay at pamilya. Para sa impormasyon ukol sa responsible gaming, bisitahin ang www.pagcor.ph. Isang mensahe mula sa PAGCOR. Gambling is for 21 years old and above only. Gambling can be addictive. Know when to stop.
Hindi umuurong sa pagtulong, kawang gawa sa lahat sinusulong. PCSO, PCSO. Di umuurong sa pagtulong ang PCSO, PCSO.
Si Miss Loli Acosta, Sulong na Bayan sa DWIZ 882.
Upang sagpuin ang lumalalang kaso ng iligal na online gaming sa bansa at protektahan ang mga manlalaro laban dito, nilunsad ng Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation o PAGCOR ang quote-unquote PAGCOR Guarantee website. Maaring i-check ng publiko sa nasabing website kung lisensyado at lehitimo ang isang online gaming site bago sila maglaro o magbayad. Regular na i-update ang website at may direktang link ito sa mga lisensyadong gaming platforms. Ayon kay Pagcor Chairman and CEO Alejandro Tenco, matutulungan nito ang publiko na makaiwas sa paglilinlang habang pinoprotektahan ang kanilang karapatan bilang manlalaro. Paalala pa ni Chairman Tenco na maging mapanuri sa bawat online gaming activity na sasalihan sapagkat dumarami ang mga reklamo hinggil sa illegal na gaming sites na hindi nagbabayad ng panalo. Para sa karagdagang impormasyon, bisitahin ang www.pagcor.ph/pagcorguarantee.
Alright, so we are in the last segment of our Sulong na Bayan and Voice and Entrepreneur. So we have very interesting topic. Kanina pa po natin pinag-uusapan yung tinatawag na business or professional etiquette. At kanina po meron tayong question sa ating studio guest. Ano po ba ang mga do's and don'ts pagdating sa mga virtual presentations? Kasi yung online kanina na-discuss na natin, no? At kung may idadagdag ka pa dun sa mga apps like Viber, WhatsApp, ano ba yung mga mga bawal at hindi magandang gawin?
Okay, so we shall start with Zoom meetings, for example,
Okay.
business meetings. As I've said, stay muted unless it's your turn, and then avoid eating. If you're eating, just turn off your camera, and then as I've said, dress up. And then
And the mic, baka naka-off nga yung camera mo, tapos narinig ka naman, nagchichicharot ka pa.
Yes, ganun. So, naririnig lahat yan. And then for virtual presentations, of course, the presenter should always make sure that everyone participates. That's her role.
Yeah.
And then if you're a participant, then you come prepared. You have to get involved or engage in discussion, but do not monopolize.
Okay.
Because one of the really mistake also for business etiquette is interrupting, even for face-to-face. Have you encountered that kind of personality?
Yes.
Like you're still talking and then somebody just interrupts. Listening is as important as speaking. So you have to let the other person finish his or her sentence first.
Paano pag masyado na mahaba?
It's kind of rude.
But sobrang ang haba talaga namang hindi siya
Well,
mapigilan. How do you cut it?
Kung
Professionally?
haba, then you just have to, do it in a nice way, like
Like what?
in
How?
the interest of time. In the interest of time, so maybe we have to. Okay, so that's a case-to-case situation also. So yeah, it's just how you handle things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So pagkausap mo, in the interest of time. So you butt in.
Yeah.
ganun.
So something
Okay.
like that.
Uh-huh.
Do's and don'ts online meetings. Yes, I've said treat it like you're having a face-to-face meeting and virtual presentation. So do it in a very quiet place, like so there will be no distractions. Don't go around with your cell phone and you got everybody dizzy.
Yeah.
Something like that. So
Yeah.
just prim and proper.
Yeah. I think let's emphasize what you mentioned also about coming prepared.
Yes.
So whether face-to-face or online, mahalaga po na tayo ay prepared, especially if we have a presentation.
Very important.
Dapat po nandun na yan sa technical
Yes,
person in
yes.
charge and na-test na. Ako nakaka-attend ako ng meeting na virtual Yung tipo bang you're waiting for the national anthem, tapos ang tagal mo na nakaganyan, wala pa rin dumudugtog. Kasi hindi nila na-test,
yeah.
right? So,
Very
even for
important.
the face-to-face situation. So, I think it's very important that prepared po tayo.
Exactly.
And
Lahat
it
for
also shows,
technicals.
it also shows our professionalism.
Exactly.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but when it comes to appearance and dress code, I think there's a rule, right? So, you don't overdress. You don't put so much of the borloloy. Di ba may tama ba ako? There's a
Yes.
3-piece accessories rule. Right? So, 3 piraso lang yan. Hindi yung meron ka dito, meron ka dito,
Or 3
meron ka
colors
dito.
in
Or-
your dress.
Yes.
Yes.
Or 3 colors?
Yes, 3 colors. Hindi yung para kang Christmas tree.
Maximum 3 colors.
Yes, maximum 3.
Okay.
So that's what power dressing comes in, right?
Oh, power dressing
Oo,
yun.
kasi may
Alright.
subject din yan power dressing.
Yeah.
And then, not exposing too much skin. Because yung
buti
iba,
na lang,
cleavage
nabalad
na
ako ngayon.
dito, di ba? Kaya hindi tayo cleavage, Ruby.
Yes.
Kasi it's a distraction for when you go to a boardroom, and then imagine, and you have mini skirt, and then you have cleavage. So what will the men think? And then it's a total distraction.
So nakatingin na sa miniskirt mo.
So safe is suit, actually.
Okay.
Suit for men and women.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or basta walang distraction.
Walang distraction.
Okay, so tandaan po natin na not to accessorize.
And light makeup.
Light makeup. Yeah.
Wala yung mga
light-
chunky earrings na, ito
yung
mga uso
malalaki.
ngayon, malalaki
Okay.
na chunky necklace. So, just tone down.
This is when you're meeting.
You're meeting,
Okay.
business
Pero pag may
meetings.
party, pwede na yun.
Yeah. You can make baon. Like if you have a party at the end
You
of the
change,
day.
yes.
You change.
Pero for meeting,
So,
yes.
yeah.
So, mas tapered, mas toned down,
Yes.
mas better. So, you can, the people you're talking to can concentrate on your conversation.
And then you command respect then.
You command respect. Wow, yes. Yeah, so what's one etiquette rule you wish everyone in the business community would consistently practice?
I advise that you have to put people first.
People first.
Hindi ikaw, ha? Hindi
Okay.
me. Put people. For example, just a very example of dining etiquette, for example. If you pour a wine to your glass, do it to your seatmate first before you pour it on your own glass. That really means a lot.
Okay.
So, i-offer mo. You want red wine? Saka ka bubuhos sa'yo. So, everything, you should come second. Kasi, iba yung you make them feel important eh.
Okay.
And then, like for example, basket of bread. Before you take your bread, offer it to your seatmate. Before
Okay.
you pick your bread. And that's just good manners.
All right.
Yeah, so that's my advice. You put people first. You have to make them feel that they matter.
Okay.
Yeah, so they feel they're special. Diba? Pag client mo, wow, special ako. So, talagang mahulog na yung loob niya sa iyo.
Yeah.
Because you know what you're doing.
Wow, that's
Remember
nice.
names, yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes we have the tendency to go first. Right? So tayo muna kakain. We
Yes,
take the
oo.
yeah. So this one, if you're in the table, especially if you're in front of your client having dinner with your client, you prioritize your client
The other
first.
person.
The other person.
Etiquette is about being selfless.
Pero yung
not
katabi mo lang
selfish.
hindi naman yung
Oo.
put lahat na lang
Oo.
inabutan mo.
Parang courtesy lang kasi yan eh.
Okay,
Kasi you don't even know
okay.
if he wants a glass of wine
Yeah.
or he wants a bread. Parang courtesy lang. It's just an act of being courteous.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow. So, we have so much learnings from you, Miss Agnes. So, what message would you like to leave to our listeners about the power of etiquette in business? So, very short message.
Yeah, so it's very important actually. Like, I found out in the study conducted by Harvard University, the Carnegie Foundation, and the Stanford Research Center that 85% of job success is attributed to the well-developed soft skills.
Okay.
Only 15% is attributed to the hard skills or technical skills. In other words, kahit gaano ka pa ka-bright or ka-intellectual, kung wala kang manners, you will never go elsewhere. So, kasi nadidevelop yung skills. But if you are a well-mannered individual, so people tend to like you.
Yes.
And then you build. That's the aim of business, is always
Yes.
build credibility.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much,
Thank
Miss
you for
Agnes.
having me.
So, another learnings of, ang topic po natin, mind your business etiquette.
I
So,
love the play of words.
Yes. So, thank you so much. So, watch us, tune in DWIZ Sulong na Bayan for another exciting episode. So, see you po next week.
Thank you.
So, meron po tayong, hindi ko mabasa. So, next program, Life Balance with Daryl Justin and Gia Rafael. Thank you, everyone. Good evening.
Si Miss Loli Acosta, Sulong na Bayan sa DWIZ 882. Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Petron. Petron knows you deserve only the best. Ang